Data Jockey here, machine learning for Victorian racing. Race 5 at Geelong, Friday 14 August 2026. Let us get straight into it. Before the detail, the headline for Race 5 at Geelong. 2 model selections. Lofty Thoughts is the place pick, top of the models list for this race. Godfrey Kirk is the same race multi-leg only, the top 4 selection, not a standalone place bet. That is the quick version. Lofty Thoughts for the place, multi combining both if you are after the longer odds. Stay with me though, because the model is seeing something worth unpacking in this field. Race 5 at Geelong, 7 runners, top 2 paying the place dividend. The model's read here is interesting straight away. The favourite is not the top selection. That is the model telling you it sees value the market has missed. This is precisely the kind of scenario where the data and the crowd disagree, and that disagreement is where the value sits. 2 selections from the model for this race, a place pick, and a same race multi combining both. Remember, not every race makes the cut. The model only selects when the value is genuinely there, and today it is. On to the breakdown. Before the picks, here is the short version of how this works, because it sets this channel apart from most tipping content out there. Every selection comes from a machine learning model trained on Victorian racing results, and it does not stop learning. Every race meeting feeds back into it, sharpening it over time. The key difference from almost everything else in this space, most models and most tipsters are chasing the winner. This one was built to chase something else entirely: place finishers. Horses that land in the top positions and pay a place dividend. That is a fundamentally different target, and it changes everything about how the model is built. It is simultaneously weighing dozens of variables across the full field: pace, distance, field composition, historical form, how each horse matches up against today's rivals specifically, all at once, in ways that are genuinely hard to replicate manually. Want the deeper methodology? It is linked in the description below. For now though, Race 5 is on the table, and the model has a clear view on it. Let us get into the picks. Let us start with pick 1 for Race 5. Lofty Thoughts, the model's top selection, currently second in the market. Not the favourite, nowhere near the headline of the betting market, just sitting at a price the model believes is significantly off. That is the whole story right there. A gap between what the market thinks and what the data is showing, and that gap is precisely what this model is built to find. Here is something worth being upfront about, because I think it builds trust rather than costing it. I cannot point to one tidy reason the model has landed on Lofty Thoughts. That is not how it operates. It is not running on a single insight like track preference or distance record, the kind of single-factor reasoning that most form analysis relies on. Instead, it is working through dozens of variables at the same time. Track conditions, distance, field size, who else is in this race, historical patterns drawn from thousands of past Victorian races. All of it considered together, picking up on relationships a person scanning a form guide would simply never catch. That is the whole point of building it this way. If it could be boiled down to one sentence, there would be no need for a model at all. What matters is this: the market has Lofty Thoughts sitting at second in the market. The model has it ranked first for Race 5. That difference is where the value sits, and finding exactly that kind of gap is what this model exists to do. It was built specifically around place finishers, not winners, so when it puts a horse at the top, it is saying this horse matches the pattern of horses that have historically finished in the places. A different way of looking at the problem entirely. Lofty Thoughts for the place. Top 2 finish in a 7-runner field. That is the model's read on Race 5. For entertainment purposes only, please make your own informed decision before placing any bet. Pick 2 is Godfrey Kirk, currently 4th in the market, a different style of selection to pick 1, worth clarifying up front. The model views Godfrey Kirk as likely to finish in the top 4, but is not confident enough for a top 2 finish on its own. That distinction is the whole point here. The data falls short of supporting a standalone place selection on Godfrey Kirk, but it clearly supports the top 4 role inside the same race multi. It can sound like a minor technicality, but in a 7-runner field, it is anything but top 2 pays a place dividend, 4th pays nothing. So backing Godfrey Kirk as a standalone place selection is not what the model supports. Its value lives in the multi-combination. Put simply, the model is saying Godfrey Kirk belongs in this race and matches the shape of a top 4 finisher in this field, while a top 2 finish specifically remains less certain. The multi only needs top 4. Lofty thoughts in top 2, Godfrey Kirk in the top 4, that is the model's combination for race 5. For race 5, the same race multi combines Lofty Thoughts finishing top 2 with Godfrey Kirk finishing in the top 4. Check your own wagering provider for whether this market is offered. Worth pausing on one point before moving on, these two bets are not equivalent, and they do not share the same probability of success. The standalone place selection on Lofty Thoughts is the model's higher confidence read, a smaller return, but a meaningfully better chance of it actually landing, and that remains the model's central view for this race. The same race multi requires both legs to come through Lofty Thoughts in top 2, Godfrey Kirk in the top 4, which reduces the overall probability but increases the potential payout if it does land. Taking both is optional, not required. Lofty Thoughts alone carries the model's strongest signal. The multi is there for those drawn to the longer odds, higher return option. Either way, understand exactly what each bet needs before deciding. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please make your own informed decision. Following along with the full card today, every race has its own video, all sitting in the playlist, uploaded before race 1 kicks off. Worth checking the other races to see which selections line up with your approach. Some punters like to combine several of the model's picks into a place multi. Your wagering provider will have the details on how that works. Always make your own informed call before placing anything. One more important point, check for scratchings before you bet on anything. They happen on race morning and can change a race completely. For race 5, the model's place selection is Lofty Thoughts. The rest of the card is sitting in the playlist if you want to keep going. If you have not subscribed yet, this runs for every Victorian meeting, every race day, completely free. Race 5 at Geelong, all wrapped up. The headline Lofty Thoughts for the place, and Lofty Thoughts top 2 with Godfrey Kirk top 4 as the same race multi if the longer odds option appeals to you. Every selection gets tracked publicly, with results posted weekly, no exceptions and no cherry-picking, win streaks or losing runs alike. That is the only honest way to judge this model over time, and it is on you to make that call. For entertainment purposes only, as always, please make your own informed decisions and gamble responsibly. See you next race.